So for the first time in the club's history, we are in the Women's FA Cup semi-final. We left it late against Manchester City, and we saw some serious heroics in the resulting penalty shootout. Welcome to the debrief.
Alex Greenwood, the Manchester City captain, to take the first penalty against Becky Spencer. And Spencer saves. What a start to the shootout for Tottenham.
Of course, I'm delighted to be joined today by Becky Spencer, goalkeeping hero of Spurs Women. How you doing, Becky?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Really good.
Great to have you here after the success of the weekend. Fantastic victory for us. Man City have not been the easiest team for us to face across this season, but you guys performed amazingly well. I need to know more about it, hence why we've got you here on the debrief. And I want to start things a little weirdly. Normally we would go through the 90 minutes and I don't want to take anything away from what happened. But I think we need to start at the end because this goal from Bethany England all started from you. Talk me through it from your perspective.
Yeah, obviously we knew that, the game was kind of closing out, and obviously we were into added time, I think, at this point. So with Amy Turner going up front, it was, something that we had planned a few weeks ago. So using her, and I could see Grace, she was pointing to the space that she wanted it in. So a long ball over to her, I knew she would do well with that. And then I think Amy flicked it on, and we knew if he caused chaos, and Beth was in the right place, and we never gave up on it. So it was a perfect goal, really, for us. It was everything that we had planned for beforehand. So yeah, and it worked out just fine.
Yeah, of course. At that point, because you mentioned it, it was right at the very end of the game. It had been a long 90 minutes. We'd been trailing from quite early on. How difficult was it to keep that mentality right to the very, very end? Yeah,
obviously, because they scored so early on. I think it was like 5 minutes when they scored. And I think we were knocking at the door right from the start. Obviously, the first 50 minutes of the game, we wasn't great. And then we kind of grew into it and we managed to control large parts of the game. And having the ball so much against a team like Man City is kind of unheard of for any team in the league. So for us to feel like we was in control and we was dominating the game was a big, boost for us. And the momentum was with us the majority of the game. So, we're a team that never gives up. So we knew we were going to keep pushing and pushing right into the last minute. So I was glad that we all had the same belief and mentality.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw that across the extra time as well. Obviously, we had to play another 30 minutes of football. Everybody kept that mentality strong. Everybody seemed to have the belief that we could go on and get this done. As we went from extra time into the penalties, talk to me about your mindset in that moment, because for a goalkeeper, this is kind of where you make your money, right? Yeah. So, I hadn't really thought about the penalties up until, right until the last whistle of the game. So, and I kind of knew I've been there before. I've been in penalty shootouts, numerous times, and it's just something that I've kind of been born to do. I just get on with it. And I think everyone was very calm in that moment. No one was coming up to me and, overwhelming me with information and stuff like that. And, I had all the clips from the penalties before, but, against a team like Man City, they've got so many quality players, and basically all the clips were, the penalties were both sides. So I just went in there and I just used my experience to kind of guess which way they were going and just kind of read what they were doing. So I was happy for that in the end. Yeah. Did Robert give you any specific words of advice? No, he just came up to me and I think he just said, look, you've got this, and then that was it. And I kind of appreciate that from him, because I can't take, quite a lot of overwhelming before stuff like that. I like to just be calm and I like to just stay present in the moment. So I was thankful that, his words were short and sweet, and that was enough for me. Okay, well, let's take you into the first penalty, because you faced Alex Greenwood and lo and behold, made the save. So, talk me through it. Yeah, we had practiced penalties the day before, and I'd saved 2, because I'm not really one to practice penalties a lot, because like I said, if players are going both ways, it's really difficult to kind of find trends. And Alex is a great player and she's a left footer, so I just thought to myself, what way would I think a left footer would go in this moment? And I guessed right, and thankfully I was in the, I made the save and started us off on a good foot. Yeah, the thing I want to point out there is when you make that penalty save, it's the first one, it's a big moment. There's not an inch of celebration from you. You are so focused. You know that there's still 4 more to come at least, and that you're not allowing yourself just a second to be like, yeah, I've got it? You're so focused.
Yeah, I think as well, when you miss the first penalty, you know that you've still got so many to go. So you just kind of know, if you're the first person taking the penalty, if you miss, you kind of go, okay, I've missed mine, but as long as everyone else scores theirs, then you're kind of fine.
Yeah.
So I thought, there was no time for celebration because I knew I had another, 4 more to face after that. So yeah, I was always present.
Well, another one came thick and fast. This time it was Chloe Kelly. She tried a bit of a tricky run-up here. So what was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, obviously I've seen Chloe take these penalties numerous times, and she puts a lot of venom behind her penalties. I think was listed in the World Cup as one of the fastest penalties ever to have been struck. So I knew with the run-up I wasn't going to dive early because that's kind of what she's waiting for. So I thought if I just stand my ground and then just go off of whatever she does, and then I made my decision, and thankfully I put enough behind it.
Yeah, well, we see you saved that one. Was there any mind games with any of the City players? Because sometimes players can chat to each other at the side, and when they're coming up for penalties, was there any of that at all?
No, nothing from them. I think obviously their goalkeeper was trying to put our players off, but I think with me going to get the ball and giving it to the players, it could, we had a chat before the game to see what the players wanted, whether they wanted me to go and get the ball for them and stuff like that. And I think it kind of brings you to normality. If players are walking up and they're feeling kind of nervous, it's always good to have like a familiar face just to kind of bring you back down to calm before you go and take the penalty. And the girls' penalties were unbelievable, so it must have worked.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at this graphic because what it shows is exactly where the penalties were taken. So we can see the 2 green ones here are the 2 first ones that you saved. The next 3, decent penalties to be fair. How did you feel when you were facing those? Yeah,
the third one was Hasegawa, and she's, undoubtedly one of their best players and one of the best midfielders in the league. So with her, I really, hadn't had a clue where she was going to go. I went the wrong way for that one, but for the last 2, I'm happy that I went. But it was right in the corner, and they put so much behind it that I couldn't actually get down to it. So I was happy, with how it went overall, of course. But yeah, I felt great. I actually felt like I could have saved any of them, to be honest. I had the confidence after the first 2, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But I think I've done enough.
Oh, you more than did enough, Becky. Come on. Now, we know that Ros missed her penalty, but all the rest was successful. Let's take a look at Amy James-Turner's winning penalty, because I'd love to hear it from your side, because at this point, you've made the saves, you're watching from the side. So what's it like watching from the sideline in that moment?
To be honest, I don't look. So with all the penalties that got taken from us, I actually face the crowd. I don't like to look. I just look at the crowd's reaction and just hear what's gone on. And with Amy, I gave her the ball, walked up to her, and she's very calm. She's pretty similar to me. She's very composed, very calm, very experienced. So I had no doubt that she wasn't going to put it away. I knew she was going to score. So I was confident in that, and I was happy with that at the end of it.
Yeah. Everybody runs up, jumps on you all over at the end. That must have been some special moments.
Yeah, I think it's because it's massive for the club as well. We've played them 4 times this season, so we needed one. We needed one big performance, and that was it, and we deserved it. We controlled the game, kept ourselves in it. We were brave on the ball. We still managed to play our way of football, which was really good to see. So I think we deserved that moment, and we deserved that celebration afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations from us and everybody who watched that one, because we loved the performance. Something that's happened since that game is that we've drawn Leicester City in the semi-final. Now, it's the first time, as you alluded to earlier, in the club's history that we've ever been in the Women's FA Cup semi-final. We've now drawn Leicester, with Chelsea and Manchester United the other side of the draw. How are you feeling about the Leicester game?
I just think it's nice, to begin with, that there'll be a different finalist for once. I think, we've seen so much repeat over and over again. So I think for us, it's a good opportunity for one of us to get to the final. I would have taken any team that was in the hat for that round anyhow. But it'll be a tough game because we haven't beaten Leicester this season, and they'll be just as up for it as we are. So for us, I think we need to stay grounded and just be ready for the game when it comes around.
Definitely. Well, as I said, congratulations from everybody here. You did a fantastic performance, and the road to Wembley continues, Becky.
Thank you. Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So there you go. That is Becky Spencer on the debrief. A fantastic performance from everybody at Spurs Women, especially our stopper in the sticks. It's been great to have you, and hopefully we'll be celebrating our route to the final very, very soon.